Yes, the recording is started. You can write your roll numbers in the chat box. Am I audible? Can someone tell me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. I hope the screen is visible. So we will start with the lecture. Quickly, let us recall the things that we have studied in last lecture because it is required to understand the complete instruction set. That is what we are going to learn today. Right. So let us quickly recall the registers. Right. So this is what we have studied in last lecture. Right. So different registers that are available with the Cortex M3. Those registers we have discussed in last lecture, and I told you the page number that you need to refer for is 25 to 32. It's from datasheet, right? So the contents that we have studied, registers and special registers, right? So this normal register means it's a general purpose registers, and these are special registers, right? So this is complete register bank. You can observe it here. This would contains first R0 to R15 register. They are all 32-bit registers, right? But apart from that, we have 5 special registers. We will talk on that later on. General purpose registers, they are R0 to R7. They are called as a low group of registers. And after that, we have this R8 to R12. They are high registers, right? All of them are 32-bit registers. Means what? They can participate in 32-bit operation, right? So they are general purpose temporary registers. So you can use them as a scratchpad registers. You can use them temporary storage. You can them as a to store the result of any operation. Right. So to hold the temporary data, we have this R0 to R12 registers. After that, we have this R13. R13 is your stack pointer, right? And this stack pointer is shadowed in 2 regions. One is MSP. MSP stands for main stack pointer. And second one is PSP. PSP stands for process stack pointer, right? This MSP is used by operating system. PSP is used by users. Then we have R14 is your link register. So when a subroutine is called, the return address is stored in this R14, right? 32-bit address is stored in R14. After that, we have R15. R15 is your program counter, and we know that program counter will point to the instruction which is going to be executed next, right? So program counter will always point the instruction which is in progress. So these are a kind of general purpose registers. After that, we have special function registers, or we can call it as a special registers. These registers are XPSR. I told you why it is X, because it involves 3 different processes. Right, so this X involves 3 different processes. One is application, second one is interrupt, and third one is execution, right? So XPSR is actually a 32-bit register divided into three parts: application part, then interrupt part, and then execution part, right? And after that, we have interrupt masking registers. Three interrupt mask registers are present there: prime mask, fault mask, and base prime, right? So they are just used. Used to mask the interrupt. They are used to disable the interrupt. Then we have control register. By using this control, this, even though we have all those registers 32-bit, this control register is of only 2 bits, right? 1 bit will decide which access, memory access is given, whether it is privilege access or user access. It will be decided by one of the bit in control register. And other bit of that control register, because I told you this is 2-bit register. 1 bit will decide privilege access or user access. Second bit will decide what it will decide, whether it is MSP or PSP. What is MSP? Main stack pointer. PSP, process stack pointer. So this control register is used to decide the privilege level and stack pointer selection. Clear? So with that, we stack pointer operation. I guess push and pop operation is known to you. So one of the scenario is mentioned here. When you push the content on memory, what happens? Stack pointer will be incremented every location, and during pop operation, it will be decremented. Right. So this is how the data is pushed on a stack and taken back from the stack. Right. So link register, right? So I told you link register will hold the return address. So when the some subroutine is called, it can be called by using branch instruction. So BL function is used for that. So it will call a function using branch with link instruction. So PC will be functional, right? Program counter will be equal to function 1. So whatever new link address is there, it will be loaded in PC, and LR will hold, link register will hold the next instruction in main program. I guess you understood what I mean to say here. See, suppose main program is being executed and program counter will point to the next instruction. And as of a sudden, let us say this function or some other सबरूटीन इज कॉल्ड. या केसमध्ये सबरूटीन म्हणजे फंक्शन 1 आहे. ठीक आहे. फंक्शन 1 जर कॉल केलं तर काय होतं, प्रोग्राम काउंटर मध्ये फंक्शन 1 चा ऍड्रेस येतो आणि पीसी चे कंटेंट जे आहेत ते एलआर मध्ये जातात. म्हणजेच काय, पीसी काय पॉइंट करेल, आता फंक्शन 1 चा ऍड्रेस पॉइंट करेल आणि एलआर काय होल्ड करून ठेवेल, रिटर्न ऍड्रेस. म्हणजे त्या मेन प्रोग्रामची नेक्स्ट इन्स्ट्रक्शन जी एक्झिक्यूट करायची थांबवली होती आपण, त्या इन्स्ट्रक्शनचा ऍड्रेस एलआर मध्ये राहील, लिंक रजिस्टर मध्ये राहील. सो एलआर विल होल्ड द रिटर्न ऍड्रेस. आणि हे फंक्शन कॉल केल्यानंतर, हे सबरूटीन एक्झिक्यूट झाल्यानंतर ते कुठं येईल, कुठल्या इन्स्ट्रक्शननी परत येईल, बीएक्स एलआर म्हणून इन्स्ट्रक्शन असते, राईट. सो बीएक्स एलआर, दिस विल रिटर्न द execution flow to the main program, right? So this is how link register works. Program counter, I told you 32, it's a 32-bit register and it will point to the next instruction. That's all about a program counter. Then we have studied those special function registers, which include program status register, that is PSR, which is divided in 3 parts. Then we have interrupt mask registers, prime mask, fault mask, and base prime. And lastly, we have control register, which is 2-bit. Before we go to understand those special register, we have studied 2 instructions. One is to read the special register, one is to write the special register. MRS is the instruction used to read the special register, and MSR is the instruction used to write the special register. Right, so program status register, I told you it is having 3 parts. One is application, second is interrupt, and third one is execution. Right, so all those different parts can be accessed with those read-write instructions separately as well as combinedly. So the scenario is mentioned here. MRS R0, APSR means you are reading the content of APSR, right? Here MRS R0 IPSR means you are reading the content of IPSR. MRS R0, EPSR means you are reading the content of EPSR. While writing, how you can write MSR, APSR, R0. This will write the flag state, means whatever last five bits are there, those will be written with the content of R0 register. So this is the format of program status register which we have seen in last lecture. I told you D0 to D31. These are the bits involved in this program status register. Last 5 bits are assigned for application, APSR we call. Last 5 bits are having some flag states. Then first 8 bits, they are IPSR, and in between whatever things are there, they are called as execution PSR. Right. So we always see those registers in a combined fashion, and that's why it is called as XPSR rather than saying that it is APSR, IPSR, or EPSR. We will call it as XPSR. When I say XPSR, it means it includes application, interrupt, and execution part. So XPSR means combined version of all those 3 portions. Then we have this primask, fault mask, and base pri. I told you the significance, how the bits are changed to disable the interrupt. Some of the instruction examples are given here. I just have modified this PPT to make a better understanding on that. So after this lecture, I will be sharing this PPT with you. Control register, as I said, there will be 2 bits, control bit 0 and control bit 1. Let's talk about control bit 1. So bit 1, if it is set, it will select alternate stack pointer. Alternate stack pointer means it will select PSP. And if it is 0, by default it is 0, and it will select main stack pointer, right? Control bit 0. If this 0 bit is clear, then it will select privilege mode. Privilege means all the access given to the program, means complete memory access is given. When we set it to 1, then it will be in a thread mode, and very limited access only to code memory is given, right? So this is all about the registers which are there in a Cortex M3, right? So now we can move ahead to understand the instruction set. Am I audible to everyone? My voice is clear? Hello? Okay. Right, so more than 100 instructions we are going to study today. So if you are ready with pen and pencil, it will be better because based on that, I am going to ask you to write 1 tutorial. Already you have submitted 3 tutorials. I guess the homework I have assigned to you, and all of you might have uploaded your homework. That homework will be treated as 3 different tutorials. So this is going to be your 4th tutorial. So whatever things I'm going to discuss today, that should be reflected in your notebook. At the end of this lecture, I will create a Google link on which this tutorial number 4 is to be uploaded. This tutorial number 4 have to be uploaded on that link. So let me repeat, you have to write all those instructions that I'm going to discuss today. And this will be your tutorial number 4. And I guess you are aware all the term work will be calculated based on your attendance and the task which we are assigning online. Means if I ask you to upload the tutorial on some link, and after that, based on that submission, you are getting the internal term work mark, and most of the contribution is been done by this assignment and all that apart from that unit test, right? So I guess you understand the importance of this kind of submission. So at the end of this lecture, you will have to do this submission for tutorial number 4, which we are going to discuss today, right? So let's start. So instructions, this Cortex M3 instruction set, you can find it on page number 43 of data sheet. Right, so assembly basics that I have discussed in last lecture. This opcode means it defines the action, what action is going to be performed. Label is actually optional. If it is coming in a way of this main program, label is not required. But if it is calling a subroutine, then label is important. After calling a label, this instruction, if it is mentioned, opcode indicates the task. Opcode indicates the action, right? What action, like addition or subtraction or multiplication, what action you are taking, it will be decided by this opcode, what opcode you are mentioning. After that, we have some of the operands, and specifically for Cortex M3, we have multiple operands. Usually in a previous architectures, you might have seen 2 operands, operand 1 and operand 2. So the process that is been defined by opcode will happen between operand 1 and operand 2. And the result will go in operand 1. This is what we have studied earlier, right? But here in this case, in case of Cortex M3, we have multiple operands. We can have multiple operands. As we go on through these instructions, you will understand how those multiple operands will operate. But for now, let us understand this operand 1 will always contains the result of that operation. Operand 1 will have the result after the processing. And this operand 1 and operand 2 will have the source data. Right? So if I say opcode is add, if I say this as a 10, operand 1 is 10, and operand 2 is, let's say it is again 20. So addition of this operand 1, that is 10, and operand 2, that is 20, will happen. So result is 30, and where this 30 will be saved, it will go in operand 1. It will be saved to operand 1. Sometimes, not sometimes, in Cortex M3 usually we have multiple operands. Means what? Operand 1, operand 2, operand 3. In that case, addition between operand 2 and operand 3 happens, and the result will go to operand 1. So first operand will always hold the result. This is what I want to say here. Some of the examples mentioned: move R0, 12. So 12 will go in R0. Next is move R1, immediate A. So ASCII code of A will go to R1. Right. So simple instructions in the form of these are just a form of examples. Right. So today we are going to discuss, we are going to start the different instructions used in that. But first of all, we will see what is suffix. Right. So suffix carry a very important meaning in the instruction. For example, some of the suffix are indicated here. First suffix is S. First suffix is S. That indicates you have to update the flag register. You have to update the application program status register. I told you application program status register will have different flags, right? Application program status register मध्ये जे शेवटचे 5 बिट्स आहेत त्या PSR चे, प्रोग्राम स्टेटस रजिस्टरचे, त्यातले शेवटचे 5 बिट्स म्हणजे फ्लॅग रजिस्टर्स असतात. ते फ्लॅग बिट्स ऑटोमॅटिकली अपडेट होत नाहीत. Keep it in mind, those flag bits will not get automatically updated in this Cortex M3. Previous versions of ARM processors, or let's say Intel 8051 or Microchip 16F877, त्या केसमध्ये काय व्हायचं, जे फ्लॅग रजिस्टर होता तो ऑटोमॅटिकली अपडेट व्हायचा. म्हणजे तुम्ही ऍड इन्स्ट्रक्शन एक्झिक्यूट केली, त्यातून कॅरी जनरेट झाला किंवा बॉरो जनरेट झाला केला किंवा overflow zala, it will get automatically updated in those cases. But here in Cortex M3, you have to add this suffix in order to update the flag. फक्त तुम्ही जर ऍड म्हटलात तर फ्लॅग रजिस्टरचं स्टेटस अपडेट होणार नाही. सो यू हॅव टू ऍड दिस सफिक्स टू द इन्स्ट्रक्शन. म्हणजेच ऍड म्हटलात तर फक्त ऍडिशन होईल, ऍड एस म्हटला तर फ्लॅग रजिस्टर्स अपडेट होतील. ठीक आहे. वन ऑफ द एक्झाम्पल इज मेन्शन्ड हियर, ADDS. एस मीन्स इट विल अपडेट द फ्लॅग रजिस्टर. एस म्हटलं की फ्लॅग रजिस्टर अपडेट होणार. फ्लॅग रजिस्टर म्हणजे हा एपीएसआर अपडेट होईल. ठीक आहे. सिमिलर टू दॅट वी हॅव सम अदर सफिक्स एज वेल विच विल be equal, not equal, less than, or greater than, right? So EQ means equal, NE means not equal, LT means less than, GT means greater than. So those suffix you can add after the opcode in order to check the conditions, whether it is equal to or not equal to, or whether it is less than or greater than. So these conditions you can check to perform some action. And this is in the form of suffix. So you can add those suffix to appropriate instructions to get your task performed. Right? So assembler language that we are using in Cortex M3. So it is also called as Unified Assembler Language, which is also called as UAL. UAL stands for Unified Assembler Language, that we are going to learn today. Our Cortex M3 will support UAL. Cortex M3 supports this UAL. Now, in traditional thumb instruction, what happens? Add R0, R1 means what? Addition of R0 and R1 happens, and the result will go in R0 register. This is what called as a traditional thumb syntax. But here in a Cortex M3 or in this Unified Assembler language, we have add R0, R0, R1. Actually, it performs the same. It performs addition between R0 and R1. Result will go to R0. But here you have to mention this first operand 2 times, because first operand will have the result. Second, it will contains one of the variable, and third, it will contains another variable. So after doing this, same result. This is first and second instruction will result in the same, but the way in which the operands are mentioned are different. First is the case of thumb syntax. Second is the case of UAL. Here we have to mention this first operand 2 times, right? So this is how we are going to write the instructions in Cortex M3. Next, for AND R0, R1. The same thing how you can write in UAL and S, because we want to update the flag. That's why the suffix S is added here. S जर इथं नाही ऍड केलं तर काय होईल? फ्लॅग्स अपडेट होणार नाहीत, APSR अपडेट होणार नाही. ठीक आहे. So and S means what? It will perform the logical AND operation, and S means it will update the flag status in APSR. It will perform logical AND operation between the bits of R0 and R1, and the final result will go in R0 register. Right? So this is how the examples can be explained for this assembly, unified assembly language. So without, okay, here I can say, when you say add S R0, #1 means what? It simply indicates 16-bit instruction, thumb instruction in earlier version, right? But here you have to define whether it is narrow instruction or wide instruction. I can tell you here, narrow means 16-bit instruction, and W wide means 32-bit instruction. So in the instruction itself, you have to define whether you are going to use its 16-bit functionality or 32-bit functionality, right? So you have to define, to reduce the code complexity, to increase the code density, you have to define whether it is narrow instruction, that means 16-bit instruction, or it is a wide instruction, that is 32-bit instruction. Right? So this is how the instruction can be written. Dot narrow means 16-bit instruction. Dot W means 32-bit instruction. Right? Now, here we are going to discuss the actual instructions. Around 100, more than 100 instructions we are going to discuss. But before that, let me tell you the different types of instruction that we are going to study. So total 5 types of instruction. All the instructions are divided in those 5 categories. First category is data or memory accessing. This defines how you can access the data from memory. How you can access the data or how you can access the memory. This is defined in data memory accessing instruction. Then we have data processing, how you can process the data. Then we have arithmetic. Arithmetic means how addition, subtraction, multiplication, division happens among the different locations on a memory, or how you can perform those operations on data is defined in arithmetic operations. Then we have program flow control, means how you can branch, how you can control the instruction flow. This is defined in this group. And last, we have some miscellaneous instructions like NOP. NOP means no operation, right? Very similar to that NOP, various instructions are there. We will list it in last category, that is miscellaneous instructions. Right, so let's begin with the first category of instruction, that is data or memory accessing instructions. Right, I guess I have mentioned here mnemonic and operand. So always the mnemonic and operand will follow the same syntax structure. So what I'll do is I will add one more column so that I can discuss exact description of that. Okay, rather what I'll do is I will get it copied. Right, so I guess it is visible. Check whether it is visible. Here I'm going to write example. Right, so what I'll do is I will simply take one by one all those instructions, and I will tell you the description, and one more example I will give. So you have to add one more column in your notebook, is a flag which is going to get affected because of that operation. आता मी तुम्हाला सांगतो, जिथं S असेल तरच फ्लॅग अफेक्ट होणार आहे. ज्या इन्स्ट्रक्शनच्या नेमोनिक मध्ये S असेल तिथंच फक्त फ्लॅग अफेक्ट होणार आहे. अदरवाइज रेस्ट ऑफ द प्लेसेस the flags will not get affected. ठीक आहे, पहिली इन्स्ट्रक्शन आहे ADR, त्याचे ऑपरेंड आहेत RD label. Right, so let me tell you what is going to happen after execution of this instruction. See, this is the instruction is used to just to load the program relative address. This ADR will generate an address by adding an immediate value to PC, and it will write the result to the destination address, destination register. So this will simply load the register. This will simply load the register which is designated here. Right, so this is the destination register. So example, what I can write here, ADR let's say R1. R1 is one of your general purpose register. If I put a comma, and here if I write some text, what will happen after execution of this? whatever text will let me write a address actually. 0x000, let's say 0055. So you have this address on a memory because you are having a 4 GB memory. So somewhere you will have this memory location. So whatever that memory location will hold, that content will go to R1 register. That content will go to your R1 register. This is how ADR works actually. This will load the register. ADR means load the register. Next is LDR. LDR means again it will perform the same task. Here LDR you may have this RT as a destination register, and then we have RN, source register, or you can have the offset. So the meaning of this is load the register with word from memory. Word means 32 bits. Here in this case, word means 32 bits. Now here I can write the example LDR R8, comma, into a square bracket. So see, this is the syntax mentioned in the mnemonics operand itself. So here I can write R10, let's say R10. So what will happen after execution of this instruction? It will load R8 from the address in R10. Meaning of that, ह्या R10 रजिस्टर वरती जे काही कंटेंट असणार आहे, that will act as a address, आणि त्या ऍड्रेस वरती जे काही कंटेंट्स असणार आहेत ते R8 मध्ये शिफ्ट होतील, ते R8 मध्ये लोड होतील. समजतं? इथं काय झालं, मी डायरेक्ट ऍड्रेस मेन्शन केला होता आणि त्या ऍड्रेस वरचे कंटेंट R1 रजिस्टर मध्ये गेले. पण या केस मध्ये काय होणार आहे, आणखी एक रजिस्टर वापरला जो की त्या ऍड्रेसला पॉइंट करेल. म्हणजेच काय, जर समजा इनिशियली R10 equals to 0x00000055 ही जर इनिशियल कंडिशन असेल, म्हणजे R10 रजिस्टर मध्ये ऑलरेडी हे कंटेंट्स असतील, तर ही जी ADR इन्स्ट्रक्शन आहे जी आपण पहिल्या केसमध्ये वापरली आणि ही जी LDR इन्स्ट्रक्शन आहे दुसऱ्या केसमध्ये वापरलेली, ह्या दोन्हीचा एंड रिझल्ट सेम असणार आहे. बघा, पहिल्या केसमध्ये काय होत आहे, हा डायरेक्ट मेमरी ऍड्रेस आहे, या मेमरी ऍड्रेस वरचे कंटेंट R1 मध्ये जातील, याला म्हणायचं लोड रजिस्टर. आणि या केसमध्ये लोड रजिस्टर, ह्या केसमध्ये काय होईल, तुमच्याकडे R10 मध्ये काहीतरी डेटा आहे, दॅट विल ऍक्ट ऍज अ ऍड्रेस. तुम्ही मायक्रो कंट्रोलर मध्ये @ बघितला असेल, R0 किंवा R1, जो काही त्याच्यामध्ये डेटा असतो दॅट विल बिहेव ऍज अ ऍड्रेस. त्याच पद्धतीने आपण इथं स्क्वेअर ब्रॅकेट टाकून त्यामध्ये जो रजिस्टर मेन्शन करतोय त्याच्या कंटेंट्सला ऍड्रेस म्हणून ट्रीट करायचा आहे. सो दॅट ऍड्रेस, म्हणजेच आता आपल्याला माहित आहे की R10 रजिस्टर मध्ये हा डेटा आहे, दिस विल ऍक्ट ऍज अ ऍड्रेस. वॉट एव्हर इज प्रेझेंट ऑन दॅट ऍड्रेस विल गो टू R8 रजिस्टर. So end result is same for both the cases, right? So you can say this is kind of direct addressing, this is indirect addressing, right? So this is one of the example. जोपर्यंत मी त्या इन्स्ट्रक्शन निमॉनिक मध्ये S ऍड करत नाही तोपर्यंत त्याच्यामुळे कुठलाही फ्लॅग इफेक्ट होणार नाही. आफ्टर दॅट वी हॅव LDRB, LDRBT. LDRB means load register with byte. ठीक आहे, लोड रजिस्टर विथ बाइट. बी म्हणा किंवा BT म्हणा, इट मीन्स द सेम, लोड रजिस्टर विथ बाइट. ठीक आहे. सो LDRB or LDRBT, it means the same. In the same fashion it can be used. So same example I can take it here just by adding B here. Right? So what will happen now? Can someone tell? This B stands for byte. This B stands for byte. So can someone tell me what is significance? आता ह्या दोन इन्स्ट्रक्शन मध्ये काय फरक आहे? Any difference in those two register? मी परत एकदा सांगतो, इन्स्ट्रक्शन नंबर 2 जी आहे ती कंप्लीट 32 डेटा प्रोसेस करते आणि इन्स्ट्रक्शन नंबर 3 जी आहे इट विल ओनली प्रोसेस अ बाईट ऑफ डेटा. बाईट ऑफ डेटा म्हणजे फक्त 8 बिट्स त्यातले प्रोसेस होतील. आता या केसमध्ये काय म्हटलं होतं आपण, LDR R8 कॉमा स्क्वेअर ब्रॅकेट R10 म्हणजे R10 मध्ये जो काही डेटा असेल तो डेटा ऍड्रेस म्हणून ऍक्ट होईल. त्या ऍड्रेसवरती जो काही कंटेंट असेल ते R8 मध्ये जातील. ते 32 बिट फॅशन मध्ये असतील. तो कंप्लीट 32 बिट डेटा R8 मध्ये लोड होईल. पण या केसमध्ये म्हणजे इन्स्ट्रक्शन नंबर 3 मध्ये जे काही कंटेंट R10 वरती आहेत दॅट विल ऍक्ट ॲज अ ऍड्रेस आणि त्या ऍड्रेस वरती जो काही कंटेंट असेल, जे काही कंटेंट असतील त्यातले फक्त पहिले 8 बिट्स, only a first byte of that data will go to R8. समजता है? Similarly, we have H. H means half word. Half word means what? Word म्हणजे किती? 32 bit. ठीक आहे. Byte म्हणजे किती? 8 bit. Half word म्हणजे किती? Wordचा half. Wordचा half म्हणजे 16 bit. Right? So same instruction you can use here. But here I should mention H. ठीक आहे. H केल्यामुळे काय होईल, त्या R10 च्या कंटेंटचा जो ऍड्रेस आहे तो ऍड्रेस, त्या ऍड्रेसवरचा डेटा त्यातले फक्त पहिले 16 बिट्स आपल्या R8 मध्ये लोड होतील. त्याला म्हणायचं हाफ वर्ड. हाफ वर्ड लोडिंग म्हणा किंवा लोड रजिस्टर विथ हाफ वर्ड म्हणा. So after executing this instruction, what will happen? It will load R8 with half word from address in R10. Right? Let me repeat the description of this instruction. This will load the R8 register with half word from address in R10 register. Half word म्हणजे 16 bit. ठीक है? So next is LDR EX. LDR EX means it will load register. It will load register exclusive with word. This address used in any store exclusive instruction must be the same as address in the most recently executed load exclusive instruction. Let me clarify this. For that, let me take this and EX. What I have added? EX. So what will happen? After doing this instruction, it will load R8 with word from address in R10. That's it. But that data have to be exclusive. Right? So it will load a register exclusive with word. Right? Similar to that, load register byte exclusive with byte, load register with exclusive with half word. These are another cases, right? So these are different cases of loading register. So usually we use this LDR, LDRB, not more than that. Usually we use this LDR or LDRB. These are very complex functionalities because when you want to do some XOR exclusive operations, right? So in that case, we can use those instructions. So here also I can give you the example LDR EXB. In this case, you can use the example LDR EXH. Right, so this is for byte, this is for half word. Similar to load operation, exact opposite of that, storing operation is also possible. Load म्हणजे काय केलं तुम्ही, मेमरी वरचा डेटा रजिस्टर मध्ये घेतला. आता ही रजिस्टर पण एक प्रकारची मेमरीच आहे, बट फॉर अ व्हाईल लेट अस अज्युम यू आर हॅव्हिंग अ रजिस्टर आणि तुम्ही त्या रजिस्टरवरती डेटा घेता कुठून? तुमच्या मेमरीवरून. त्याला म्हणायचं लोडिंग. त्या ऑपरेशनला म्हणायचं यू आर टेकिंग द कंटेंट फ्रॉम मेमरी, मीन्स यू आर लोडिंग द कंटेंट फ्रॉम मेमरी ऑन द रजिस्टर. यू आर लोडिंग द रजिस्टर. ठीक आहे. नेक्स्ट ऑपरेशन इज स्टोअर ऑपरेशन. स्टोअर मीन्स यू आर ट्रान्सफरिंग द कंटेंट फ्रॉम रजिस्टर टू मेमरी. बघा, लोड आणि स्टोअर मधला डिफरन्स लक्षात येतो का? लोड म्हणजे मेमरीवरचे कंटेंट रजिस्टर वरती घ्यायचे. स्टोअर म्हणजे एक्झॅक्ट अपोजिट, रजिस्टर वरचे कंटेंट मेमरीला पाठवायचे. ठीक आहे. सो द निमॉनिक इज STR. STR स्टँड्स फॉर स्टोरिंग ऑपरेशन. ठीक आहे. So this operands very similar to load operation, RT, RN, offset, right? So here I can give the example like STR, right? So STR will store R0, comma, square bracket, R10. आता ह्याच्याने काय होईल सांगा बघू, कोणाला सांगता येईल? STR R0, comma, square bracket, R10. Anyone can टेल व्हॉट विल हॅपन. बघा, पहिली जी केस होती ती मेमरीवरचा डेटा आपण रजिस्टर मध्ये घेत होतो. आता इथं स्टोअर मध्ये काय होणार आहे? रजिस्टरचा डेटा मेमरीला जाणार आहे. ठीक आहे. तर रजिस्टरचा डेटा जो आहे तो R0 मध्ये असणार आहे. ठीक आहे. R0 मधला डेटा कुठं जाणार आहे? इट विल गो टू द ऍड्रेस विच इज गिवन बाय R10 रजिस्टर. R10 मध्ये जो डेटा असणार आहे दॅट विल ऍक्ट ॲज अ ऍड्रेस ऑफ मेमरी, and content of R0 will go to R10, address pointed by R10, right? So what description you can write for this? This will store R0 to address indicated by R10. This will store content of R0 to the address pointed by or given by R10. Right. So very similar to the load operation, we can have store operations as well. So I can get this copied. Now STRB, B means a byte. Only a byte of R0 will go to the address given by R10. Next, STRH, only half word means only 16 bits of R0 will go to the address pointed by R10. And very similar to load, we have STREX, we have STREX byte, STREX half word. Right, so these are the examples of load and store instructions. Okay, let it be. So we can move on to the next instruction is CLREX. CLREX will simply clear exclusive. Means whatever exclusive functionality you are using in previous store and load algorithm, you can clear that exclusive. So use of CLREX, it will make the next STREX or STREXB or STREXH instructions failure. पुढे वापरल्या जाणाऱ्या सगळ्या एक्सक्लुझिव्ह इन्स्ट्रक्शन्स फेल करण्यासाठी ही CLREX इन्स्ट्रक्शन वापरली जाते. ठीक आहे. So this is about 14, instruction number 14. Then I can get this instruction 15, 16. Right. So I guess this is visible. Right, so instruction number 15 is LDM. Now let us discuss the mnemonic, operand, and example. Right. So LDM. Right. So load multiple. This is abbreviated as LDM. Load multiple. Right. So here you are going to load multiple resistor by incrementing after. LDM will increment after. So instructions will this type of instructions will load the registers in register list with word values from memory address based on RN. आता बघा इथं मी एक एक्झाम्पल लिहितो आणि त्याचं मीनिंग सांगतो. LDM, ठीक आहे. LDM स्पेस R8 exclamatory mark, R8 exclamatory mark, comma, curly brackets, R0, comma, R2, comma, R9, curly bracket, complete. So first thing you should know, you should understand, we are going to load the registers. आता हे रजिस्टर कुठे आहेत की रजिस्टर लिस्ट आहे. ह्या रजिस्टर्स मध्ये आपण कंटेंट लोड करणार आहे. पण ते कंटेंट कुठून लोड होणार आहेत? मेमरी वरून लोड होणार आहेत. बरोबर आहे. तर मेमरी ऍड्रेस कुठून भेटणार आहे? तर ह्या RN मधून मेमरी ऍड्रेस भेटणार आहे. म्हणजेच काय, R8 मध्ये जे काही कंटेंट असतील दॅट विल ऍक्ट ऍज ऍड्रेस, आणि त्याच्या पुढे एक्सक्लेमेटरी मार्क म्हणजे प्रत्येक लोडिंग ऑपरेशन नंतर हा R8 चा कंटेंट जो आहे तो इन्क्रीमेंट होणार आहे. म्हणजेच काय, आता एक सिनॅरिओज दाखवतो म्हणजे तुमच्या लक्षात येईल. R8 वरती इनिशियली लेट्स से 000 55 हे कंटेंट आहे. बरोबर. आणि त्यानंतर या बाजूला मी एक मेमरी स्टॅक दाखवतो. ठीक आहे. ही मेमरी आहे. याच्यामध्ये कुठेतरी हा ऍड्रेस असणार आहे. बरोबर आहे. तुम्हाला माहित आहे याच्यामध्ये कसं होणार आहे, पुढची लोकेशन 56 असणार आहे, याच्या पुढची लोकेशन 57 असणार आहे, याच्या पुढची लोकेशन 58 असणार आहे, याच्या आधीची लोकेशन 54, त्याच्या पण आधीची 53. बरोबर आहे ना. राइट. सो दिस इज मेमरी स्टॅक. आणि त्या याच्यावरती काही 32 बिट लेट्स से आपल्याकडे AAFC इथं असेल. लेट्स से रॅन्डमली काहीतरी डेटा लोड करतोय त्या मेमरीवरती. ठीक आहे. हा जो आहे हे दिस इज व्हॉट ऍड्रेस. आपल्याला 4 GB ची स्पेस आहे कॉर्टेक्स M3 वरती. दिस इज 4 GB space, and on which we have those addresses, and on those address we have this data. Right. आता yes. त्यानंतर आपल्याला माहित आहे आपल्या R8 रजिस्टर वरती 00000055 आहे. बरोबर आहे. R8 रजिस्टर मध्ये हा एक डेटा आहे आणि लोड ऑपरेशन मध्ये हा डेटा, हा जो डेटा आहे तो काय म्हणून ऍक्ट होतो, ऍड्रेस म्हणून ऍक्ट होतो. बरोबर आहे. सो हा 55 लोकेशनला जाईल. 55 लोकेशनला जाईल. ठीक आहे, मग मी 55 ला रेड कलर देतो. आणि ज्यावेळी तुम्ही ही इन्स्ट्रक्शन एक्झिक्यूट कराल, आफ्टर एक्झिक्युटिंग दिस इन्स्ट्रक्शन काय होईल बघा. आफ्टर एक्झिक्युटिंग दिस इन्स्ट्रक्शन रिझल्ट कसे चेंज होत आहेत बघा. येस, आता मी काय करतोय, ही इन्स्ट्रक्शन एक्झिक्यूट करतोय. हा सगळा इनिशियल सिनेरिओ आहे. ठीक आहे, म्हणजेच काय, तुमच्या R8 मध्ये हा डेटा आहे आणि त्यानंतर मेमरी ऍड्रेसला डेटा काय आहे ते या ठिकाणी मी दाखवलेलं आहे, इंडिकेट केलेलं आहे. ठीक आहे, हा म्हणजे मेमरी मॅप आहे, याच्यामध्ये तुमच्याकडे डेटा आहे. तर रिझल्ट काय होईल, या इन्स्ट्रक्शन एक्झिक्यूट केल्यानंतर रिझल्ट काय येणार आहे, याचा रिझल्ट ऑफ दिस सांगू शकेल. रिझल्ट काय असणार आहे, जसं मी सांगितलं, LDM लोड मल्टिपल रजिस्टर इन्क्रीमेंट आफ्टर, म्हणजे पहिला रजिस्टर लोड केल्यानंतर त्याच्यातल्या ऍड्रेसचं इन्क्रीमेंट होणार आहे, म्हणजे R8 च्या ऍड्रेसचं इन्क्रीमेंट होणार आहे. दिस एक्सक्लेमेटरी मार्क मीन्स इन्क्रीमेंट. ठीक आहे, म्हणजेच काय, पहिल्यांदा लोड होताना जे काही कंटेंट आहेत ते ऍज इट इज ऍड्रेस म्हणून ट्रीट होतील आणि पहिल्या रजिस्टरमध्ये तो डेटा जाईल. म्हणजे पहिला रजिस्टर आहे R0. R0 रजिस्टर मध्ये काय व्हॅल्यू येईल, FDSF. सेमच झालं का. ठीक आहे, R0 रजिस्टर मध्ये FDSF हा डेटा येईल. ठीक आहे, हा झाला पहिला पार्ट. त्यानंतर काय होणार आहे, R8 चे कंटेंट इन्क्रीमेंट होणार आहे, म्हणजे आता तो पुढच्या लोकेशनला पॉइंट करेल. म्हणजे आता तो ह्या 56 ला पॉइंट करेल. आणि आपल्याला माहित आहे 56 वरती काय, FRTH. हा FRTH कुठं जाणार आहे, पुढच्या रजिस्टर मध्ये. म्हणजे R2 मध्ये काय होईल, R2 मध्ये काय येईल, FRTH. आणि तिसरा जो रजिस्टर आहे तो रजिस्टर ह्या 57 च्या लोकेशनच्या डेटाने लोड केला जाईल. ठीक आहे, म्हणजे पुढचा रजिस्टर आहे RN, दॅट विल बिकम इक्वल टू 57 लोकेशनला काय आहे, DFGF. ह्यातून काय समजतंय तुम्हाला. एक छोटस एक्झाम्पल घेऊन मी हा सिनॅरिओ दाखवला, की तुमची मेन इन्स्ट्रक्शन आहे, ज्याला मी आता बोल्ड करतो. ठीक आहे, इनिशियल सिनॅरिओ हा होता, ही झाली मेमरी, हा झाला रजिस्टरचा कंटेंट. ठीक आहे, आणि तुम्ही एक्झिक्यूट केली LDM ही इन्स्ट्रक्शन एक्झिक्यूट करताय, म्हणजेच काय, लोड मल्टिपल. आणि R8 मध्ये जे कंटेंट आहे दॅट विल ऍक्ट एज अ ऍड्रेस, आणि तो ऍड्रेस, त्या ऍड्रेसवरचा डेटा इट विल गो टू R0. कंटेंट ऑफ R8 विल बी इन्क्रीमेंटेड, देन that address will hold some data, it will go to R2. Again R8 will be incremented and that address will hold some data, that data will go to R9. लोड मल्टिपल इन्स्ट्रक्शन म्हणायचं याला काय म्हणायचं, लोड मल्टिपल इन्स्ट्रक्शन, लोड मल्टिपल रजिस्टर, सॉरी, it is called as a load multiple register. I guess LDM is क्लिअर. समजलंय सर्वांना. समजलंय का सर्वांना. येस, नो, काहीतरी बोला. Right, so LDM will simply load the register एक रजिस्टर लोड केला की ऍड्रेस जो आहे तो इन्क्रीमेंट होईल, पुढचा रजिस्टर लोड होईल, त्यानंतर आणखी एकदा ऍड्रेस इन्क्रीमेंट होईल आणि पुढचा रजिस्टर लोड होईल. सो व्हेरी सिंपल multiple loading operation is supported in Cortex M3, right? So with this, we will stop here for today. If you have mentioned your roll number in the chat box, if you don't have any doubt, you are allowed to leave this meeting now.